Hello, and welcome to the Veterans Hands Network podcast. I'm a veteran and an American Legion. I'm former Army Specialist Marshall Moss, and on this podcast, we will discuss veteran struggles, challenges, accomplishments, success, and including health. So, let's get started. I'm glad to be here with you, and thank you for your service. All of our veterans all across the United States and abroad, thank you for your service. We're still in the COVID-19 pandemic. I call it a series, but it's a pandemic because we've been going through. But guess what? I received my COVID-19 vaccine on February the 12th. It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't hard getting into the establishment where they had it. It was at the Grand Hall. It was just real smooth operation. There were many veterans there from all over. I have pictures from my phone. I'll share them with you at a later time. But the veterans came from near and far to get their COVID-19 shot. They're still asking all of you that are coming to the Veterans Administration hospitals, John Cochrane or Jefferson Barracks, they're still asking that you get there prior to your appointment. Well, they'll be doing a screening, making sure you're healthy and not COVID complicated. Then you go to your designated areas. Again, if you're bringing anyone to help you along getting your medication or moving through the hospital, make sure they're 18 years or older. Their COVID symptoms should not be, if any. They're not wanting you to have a cold or anything like that. So if you are traveling with someone, make sure that they're able to be in the facility to help you move along. The COVID-19 vaccine was given to me. I didn't have any problems. I'm still healthy. I didn't fall out after I got the shot. So many other veterans has got this as well, so you need to be possibly getting yours as well. Now again, if you are a veteran that has honorable discharge or unhonorable discharge other than dishonorable, because they have various types of discharge and you know which one you may have. So if you need to get a shot, you can call your care provider and they'll help you to get a shot. They'll give you a form so that you can fill out. It's a 10Z VA form. You'll get calls to your nearest administration and they will be able to help you get a shot just as well. So we want all of our service members to be vaccinated so that we can be comfortable and be able to move about as soon as possible, because everybody wants to get back to the norm, but getting back to the norm is not going to be that easy until we get everybody vaccinated, or the majority of the people vaccinated, so that we can move about comfortably and have the fun that we've been having and have all the normal festivities that we've been having, because we're missing out on so many. But still stay safe. Still wear your mask. Before I got on the podcast, I had mine on. It's okay to double mask. They said double masking is 95% more effective. So if you want to double mask, please do. Sometimes when I'm out and about, I double mask. But right now, I only have on one. But I don't have it on right now, of course, because I'm doing a podcast. But I came into this morning with my mask on. Even though I was by myself, I still had on my mask because I had to get out of the car a couple of times. But wear your mask. Even those that have been vaccinated, and many of you have been vaccinated, still wear your mask when you're moving out about around cities and fairways or what have you. Still wear your mask. Again, while I was there getting my shot, my COVID-19 shot, I talked to so many veterans that were in the line, and they were so grateful and thankful that they were getting their vaccine shot. They came from all over Missouri. I couldn't believe how far some of the people, some of the veterans came to get their shots. I wonder now, when we have our appointments, we're supposed to get reimbursed. So those people that travel from those rural areas where the COVID shots are not plentiful in their area, and some has been given some, but it's not enough. But they had to travel a long way. I wonder if they're going to be reimbursed. We get a reimbursement for traveling, whether you know it or not. We really do. So check with your care provider about the reimbursement of your travel, because if you're coming from Herman, Missouri to St. Louis, that's about 100 so miles out. That's kind of far for veterans to be traveling and not being compensated, because we're supposed to be reimbursed on our traveling for various appointments. Now, you can't hold me to it because I'm not the one who's in charge of that. But if my readings find me right, we're supposed to get reimbursed on it. So all of those veterans that have to travel a very far distance to get their vaccine shot, check on reimbursement as well, because I want to see all of my comrades treated fairly. Okay, now let's go on to something else, another topic. Our first responders. I like to salute all of our first responders, all of them. I'm talking about the EMS workers, the fire department, the police, the doctors, the nurses, the hospital service workers, the people that change the linen, the people that bring you your food. All these people are essential. So we salute you all. We need you. We're thankful for what you do for us. All of our heroes, no matter where you are, at the bottom, at the top, it doesn't matter. We salute all of you and thank you all for your service just as well, because we couldn't do it without the help of you. So I want to take this time to salute all of our first responders, all across the board, from the top to the bottom. We are thankful and we're grateful for all that you do. Now also, the EMS workers and all the first responders, yes, but the people at the food banks, we salute you guys too, because you're doing a great deed all across the United States and abroad. There's food needed during this pandemic. And those of you that are getting out, volunteering, helping to get food to poverty-stricken individuals, or just people that's just hurting right now, just people in general. We salute you guys too for running those food banks. Operations has been tremendous, greatly received. The people have appreciated. I do a food outreach here at the Network Center myself, but what I do, I go to different food banks and I collect it all up and I bring it back to the Network Center and I provide it to the veterans in our area that can't get to the food banks. There's some veterans that can't even get to the food banks. So I just give it out freely. But all of those people that run those food banks across the United States and abroad, because other countries, they're having severe problems as well. So we thank all of you. Again, salute to all of our first responders. Thank you. Even let's go on to a little bit further on saluting individuals or people. Eugene Goodman, the U.S. Capitol Officer, we salute you for what you've done to save our senators, Matt Romney, especially how you turned him around to keep him from being slaughtered, murdered, killed, or whatever. We thank you for your service. We're so glad you were able to do what you did to help keep our Capitol intact. We salute you, Eugene Gorman. You did a great job. I mean, those mobsters were coming to the senators' chambers where everyone was there. All the senators. Just imagine what could have possibly happened if it wasn't for that individual. Eugene Goodman, we salute you. Thank you for your service to all of our individuals around the United States. You helped so many individuals that day that you don't even know, but we know that we do. Thank you for your service too. push the button and subscribe to the Veteran Hands Network podcast. I'm Marshall Moss. I'm the host. I'm asking you to push and subscribe because we have a lot of information we're going to be giving out to our veterans, their family members, even some active duty service members. We're going to have a lot of information that we want you to share with other veterans, family members as well. You know, because we're moving so strongly to a one way, falling off in other ways, but it's okay for us to share with one another because we're all in this together. So I'm asking you to push the button to subscribe so you can be in tune to what we're giving out, informative information. We got some fun stuff coming up. We have a whole list of guests that's rostered already to come on to the podcast, but we have to hold off because of the COVID-19 till we get the green light to totally go and open up fully. I mean, we have some very, very outstanding guests already lined up. We have some of the U.S. officers from the Army, some from the Navy, some from the Air Force. They're going to be coming out. You know, we had our big American flag that was folded. We're going to take that flag and fold it properly. We're going to show you how all of you that have some of those big funeral flags from various family members that has gone on, those flags, we're going to show you how to fold them up properly. If you want to display it for some of the holidays and you're afraid to display it because you don't want to unfold it, we're going to show you the proper way to fold it because we have a lot of guests coming on, so I do want you to be able to get your flag out, display it, and fold it up properly, and be proud to know your family member was an active service duty member. That's for sure. Again, push the button to subscribe. We're going to get those numbers up so we can reach all of you. I want my active service members to come on and do what? Push subscribe. Now, let's say now, there's a lot of veterans out here in need during this pandemic. It's okay for peer-to-peer. You know what I mean by peer-to-peer? Some veterans over here are alone. Some veterans have family members, a good support system. Some don't. Some just in lieu. It's okay to have the buddy system. Check on your brother veterans, your sister veterans, you know, because they did a lot for our country. I remember John F. Kennedy said, ask not what you can get from your country. No, it's ask not what you can do for your country, ask what you can do or whatever it goes. You know how it goes. Do that. Help somewhere along the line. Your life will not be in vain for helping someone else. That's our peer-to-peer. It's okay to call and check on other veterans, just individuals at large. Other family members that are getting older, check on them during this cold crisis that's going all across the United States at this time. It's just sweeping across the states. So do check on your other family members for a good support system. Here at the Hands Network Center, we're going to be regrouping our Veterans Hands Support Group when the pandemic is cleared up. So we're going to be asking you not only to subscribe, but to come in and join our peer-to-peer veteran support group here at the Hands Network Center. You know, this is February. Valentine's is in the air. Oh my God, that Valentine's Day has really blown out of proportion. The flowers are so extremely high. I had to pay $125 for a dozen of roses. They were beautiful, but my God. Then I had to buy candy, teddy bear, balloon. But it's love is in the air, so I did what I have to do. But I think that's a little bit extreme. It's a little bit extreme. But again, I had to do what I had to do, so I did. But this is Black History Month. Hmm. You know, when I think about Black History Month, it goes back to when I was like, say third or fourth grade, and I used to always write about George Washington Carver. Or should I say Dr. George Washington Carver. I went to this is Carver School. George Washington, no, it wasn't George. What's his name? Anyway, I went to Carver School, and I always wrote about Mr. Carver because I thought he was a great agriculturalist. He did so many things. He made so many things, peanuts, oil, so much more. I always thought Mr. Carver was outstanding. But you know, when I think about it, there were other individuals. I know we always think about Dr. Martin Luther King. He's the greatest, one of the greatest civil rights leaders from our era. I had the pleasure of having dinner with his son, Dr. Martin Luther King's son, the third. It was very interesting. Him, I, and Ollie Stewart from Southside Wellness, we had the pleasure of having lunch, and it was very, very fun and interesting, and very down-to-earth guy, and he is about his father's business. So there's other ones as well. I remember one time I met Pearl Bailey. She was a road pioneer blazer. There's so many other people like Andrew Young. Let's think about him. Mr. Powell. There's so many others, you know, but Black history goes so deep. It runs so far. And I'm not just talking about the Freedom Underground Railroad with Harriet Tubman. There's so many other individuals. Grace Bumfrey. Just think of so many legendary people that have done so many things to move us forward. Our black astronauts. We've had so many black five-star generals. I mean, our history runs so deep. It's so much to be challenged, to be educated on. I'd like to thank Henry Cremation and Funeral Service for supporting our Black History Month calendars that were given out to our veterans. Thank you, Mr. Henry. Those Black History calendars are very educational, and I'm glad to have one of them myself. Now, on March the 21st, the Folds of Honor will be having their NASCAR race day. March the 21st, Folds of Honor. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. I watched NASCAR one of the other previous races. I think it was last year. It was really, really interesting. I don't know, it wasn't a race. It was a full, it was riding bulls. It was interesting, but the Folds of Honor, along with my friends at Coke, you know, all veterans like Coke. All of them like Coke. Well, like I said, NASCAR is going to be on the 21st of March. Coca-Cola be a sponsor, Quick Trip, and Fox. So watch it. They're going to be doing a lot of fundraising for various veteran service organizations, non-for-profits that helps veterans here and there. That's going to be March the 21st. Folds of Honor. Thank you for your service, all of our service members. Active duty, we thank you for your service. All of our veterans that has gone on, we thanking their families for having them to serve greatly. Again, on that March 21st, watch it, because Michael Jordan has a car number 23 that will be racing in that NASCAR for our veterans, the Folds of Honor. That's going to be March the 21st. I'll be watching and tuning in because they're going to be doing great things for our veterans all across the United States and abroad, our active service members, all nonprofits. That's going to be March the 21st. So do tune in. Again, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors that have helped keep us flying. All of you, thank you. I'd like to thank my brother Warren Moss. I'd like to thank Michael Dodson. And of course, I'd like to thank you. Don't forget, push subscribe so you can be in tune with us the next time we come back. I have a lot of upcoming stuff that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. Be safe. And don't forget, get your COVID shot. And after you get it, still mask up. Thank you for your service, and goodbye for now.